going, man?
Going fish shopping.
What?
Curly dog,
That's me. Thank you.
mushroom burger, napkins.
Thank you much.
No problem.
That really is a hot dog in your burger.
Yeah, it's about to be delicious. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And they fry the hot dog. It's really good. Any burger you gotta wear, that's a good burger.
So we drove by Conway, Cory's old fish store, and it's closed. Who knew? So we stopped by for burgers. I'm gonna go check out another fish store. I believe it's called Bridges, and another one called Aqua Pets. Check out Chuck Wagon. I'm here at Aqua Pets in Marysville. We're looking for goldfish today, me and Cory. This is the first time I've seen Cory ever go to a fish store around the neighborhood, so want to go take a look around and see what we can get. Can you see me? It's pretty dark in here, but we are at Bridges. Whoa! We're at Bridges Pets. This place is pretty awesome. It's a $1 million facility. And wow, look at that guy. Very cool fish here. It's a little mix between Aquarium Co-Op and PetSmart. Lots and lots of tanks. I'll show you guys in a little bit, but I think Cory found his fish. Let's go take a look. Found a fish. So that's the little goldfish that Cory got.
Deputy Derp.
Deputy
Is
Derp.
his name. Yes. So we lost all the footage we just had, so I'm gonna rehash what we missed.
Yeah, because I asked him, how do you get Dropsy,
We'll
and
get
how do
to
you,
that.
how do
We'll
you
get to
deal
that.
with Dropsy?
But the reason I picked Deputy Derp is I want goldfish that aren't super high end. I don't want to need to spend $400 when I enjoy them all the same. So this is an $18 goldfish that I will enjoy every bit as much as a $400 goldfish. I'm not trying to win any beauty pageants here. So it's going to quarantine out here because I don't want to get everything sick that's inside. And because I'm going to Aquashella and Germany in the next week and a half, I don't want to just put something in quarantined and hope for the best and come back to a pile of death. So out here, we've got the water level down low, and the hope is that if a heron was to show up and figure out there's something in here, it would not be able to get all the way down in there because it has to stand on the outside, and its beak, hopefully wouldn't go far enough, and Deputy Derp's not stupid enough to come up to the top, hopefully. We're gonna feed Daphnia, or not Daphnia, we're gonna feed duckweed, and that's where you asked me about dropsy. How do you prevent dropsy, or how do you cure dropsy? And my answer is, don't get it to begin with. Goldfish fancy goldfish have a digestional tract that is long because they come from a common goldfish. And let's say they get that big in their stomachs like that, but then you kind of ball it up into something like this. So when food goes through, it has to kind of go through this curlicue motion, and high proteins can get blocked up in there. And once they get blocked up, the bacteria in the gut starts fermenting, creating gases like we would burp or fart, and they can do a little bit of that too, but usually because a normal or a fancy goldfish isn't super active, they do a lot of bottom sitting, and they don't, they're not out jogging, it tends to go worse faster. So what happens is, as that stomach kind of expands, right, it's going to push their swim bladder off to one side, and so if it goes off to the right a little bit, pretty soon they're not staying upright, and that's where you see goldfish on their side or upside down. And after a few days that way, the muscles actually set in. So if it stays that way for any length of time, then the muscles move, and even if you cure the problem, they go poop, you fix the problem, and the swim bladder wants to go back where it was, but the muscles moved and now it can't go back. This is why I believe when you see goldfish that only get, they call it floaty and that kind of stuff sometimes after they eat. Well, if it had had that experience once and we move that swim bladder just a bit and there's no food in the stomach, maybe it can correct itself and it stays normal, right? So it can swim around vertically. But then it eats a bunch of food and it pushes that swim bladder out to one side again. And then all of a sudden you're going, oh, it's getting floaty. And then some people say, oh, it's based on the type of food. Well, different foods are going to travel through its digestional tract at different speeds and that kind of stuff. And so that's what I believe to be actually going on. And the way I prevent it is I might feed a pellet food one day. So maybe I feed like a red Hikari pellet today. Well, not today because it's the first day, but we feed that. Then the next day I want to feed something completely different, maybe spirulina based, or I'm going to feed duckweed and it's going to poop green. And then I'll feed it pellets, it'll poop red, and then it'll poop green. And so every day I'll know that that food is going through that fish correctly. As long as I don't feed something super rich and high in protein, we shouldn't have too many problems. And then as long as I'm supplementing it with duckweed, brine shrimp, daphnia, things with a lot of fibrous stuff in it, it'll help keep the digestional tract moving through it. So that's how I prevent it. Once it has it, you got to act fast. People use green peas with the skin taken off. You can do Epsom salts. If you kind of put enough Epsom salt in the tank, it will be a muscle relaxer. And when we relax the muscle, sometimes it'll unconstrict the bowels and let some stuff move. It also might let the swim bladder come back into where it needs to be. So, but there's no like, oh man, this is going to be super easy. The best thing is don't get into that problem. So that's my recommendation, is don't start with the problem. And if you see a fish that already has it, I believe it's going to be prone to it no matter what. Like once you go, oh, I'm going to save this little guy, he's always going to kind of have that problem. Now they can live a life very long time where they just get floaty for a few hours every time they eat like that, and they can live for years and years and years. But that might cause you a ton of stress, and that's not very fun. Like I don't enjoy watching that. And for the most part, the goldfish I've kept, I've never really had floaty issues ever. But in general, I always feed a lot of greens. I've always got plant clippings and duckweed and that kind of stuff going on. And what I like about duckweed is you just grab a handful and you just put it in the tank, and it will actually consume waste and grow and replicate until it's eaten. So, you know, that's kind of nice to have around. It's one of the, it's a live food that is very, very easy to culture for almost anyone. And something like these two totes could feed my 125 gallon. Not year round, but anywhere it's not freezing. So maybe 6 months out of the year I'll have duckweed always going. If I get it going indoors, then it'll be really good. And then if I have, daphnia going in another pond, I've got 2 different live food sources, supplement with a decent pellet, and they'll be happy. So that's the plan. And now that I have one goldfish, I'm committed. So that's why I bought a goldfish. I was on a mission to find a goldfish because I was kind of going back and forth. I could do anything, and I really want a goldfish tank. So my goal for this, what I'm going to do is either A, put a bunch of salt in here. If he eats well, he or she eats well tonight, eats that duckweed, I'll put a bunch of salt in, kind of let him sit for, the weekend. So it'll be like 3 or 4 days. And then when I'm back for a couple days, I might put Icex, and I might wait on the general cure. I know that seems a little bit weird, but I know I'm going to buy other goldfish. And once I clear that 125 out, I can put the general cure, I can put everything through there. And the salt is going to handle some external parasites and the bacterial infections if it has any, which I didn't see any, but we always like to be cautious. And I'd much rather, given a choice, treat a fish with glass so I can see it. And suppose right now I can only do the look down, and maybe it's like got a horrible fungal infection on its belly or its fins, something like that, and I wouldn't even be able to see it. So I much prefer in glass. So for now it's kind of a temporary solution. This is a 100-gallon tote, probably has 60 gallons of water, so the quarantine is 60 gallons to one little goldfish, sponge filter, low flow. Should be a paradise considering I just bought it out of like a 20-gallon. So, definitely an upgrade 3 times the size, and doesn't have to live with any buddies except for my super awesome snail, which I'm going to move this guy because I've been growing this thing forever. It's the biggest like pond/pest snail, grandpa snail, so you can go live over here. Because when I put that salt in there, he's not going to like that if I do. So, yeah. So hopefully Deputy Derp leads the charge to the new goldfish tank.
Snip, snip, snip. I think it's time for a haircut. By haircut, I mean I need to cut this Balacenaria. That's the end of the video, guys. I know it's not much. We've just been so busy here with Cory going to Germany and I'm going to Hawaii in the same week. Make sure you check out my live stream on Sunday. It's a live stream before I go to Hawaii, so come and check it out. Also, I opened up a Buy Me a Coffee. It's pretty much a tipping service. You can donate some money there. You don't have to sign up for anything. It's not a monthly thing. It's just a one-time deal. You could donate $3, $5, or whatever. Or you don't need to donate anything. You just need to watch these videos, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and cut these, and I'll see you guys later. Whoa, light switch raves. It's pretty much like cutting grass. I'm pretty sure these rainbows appreciate it. They don't swim in between the Balacenaria. They swim around it, so now they have a little bit more room to be free and swim around. I feel like Ice Cube right now. I'll meet you at the barber shop. That's not right. If you're wondering where I get these scissors, check out aquariumcoop.com. Thank you for Cory for taking me around town today and teaching me a little bit about Dropsy, because that was brand new to me. It's quite awesome, actually.
So seductive. I take you to the candy